All right, so for this to work, I've got a piece of plexiglass. I've got kind of an idea of what I think I want my drawing to be. And I'm going to be rolling just a little bit of ink on first, just to kind of play around with the background. And your background doesn't need to be very complicated or even very detailed. This is actually a standard monoprint where you're just putting ink onto a piece of plexiglass. And so I'm starting out with that. And I'm actually going to be placing it onto a piece of paper that I've done a drawing on the back of. And so I'm just going to lay this on, and I'm just going to burnish this color so I've got a background color. So this first part is just a standard mono print. The Ying Yang print's a little bit different. All right. So I have a really light surface that just looks like a checkerboard, basically. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn this plate over, and I'm going, because I don't want to have the ink, the red ink coming through on this. So I'm going to use the other side, and I'm going to roll a bunch of ink onto this. Now, I don't know if I really want to have ink everywhere on my plate, so I'm actually just going to place it in a couple of key parts. And with the mono printing that's a Ying Yang print, I find that you really do have to have quite a bit of ink on it, but it needs to be tiny little dots, and it needs to definitely have enough ink on it to grab it. So you have to be kind of quick with this process because it does dry quickly. Place it onto the paper. Now what I'm going to do is I am not going to burnish it. I am just going to place it very carefully where I want it to be. And I've traced out the shape of my paper and my plate. And I am not going to touch the picture. Oh, it's not that great. Okay, well, I thought it was in a good spot. I turned it upside down by accident. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the drawing that I have, and I'm pressing down quite hard. Now, you could just draw it freehand, which is actually the way I normally do it, but for the camera, I wanted the drawing to actually look pretty good. If you do it too long, then it doesn't have a chance of working. Okay, so you can see that I've got the two chess pieces. Now what I'm going to do is, before it has a chance to dry, I'm going to take another piece of paper. I'm going to place it on very carefully, and this time I'm really burnishing it. And I don't have another print underneath. And so in the end, this is going to be, hopefully, a negative version of the space around the drawing. And it even picked up some of the red, which is kind of neat. So that's a Ying Yang print. That is a print that is created with burnishing with a pencil, and then burnishing afterwards with a brayer or a roller or your hand to show the negative part. So where the pencil's drawn and where the actual pencil's been removed and what's left over. Thank you so much for joining me.